Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today we are going to do a little bit of simple stamping and we're going to do some simple scoring. So we are going to be playing around with this stamp set from the mini catalog called Caring Leaves. So it just has some very basic stamp images in it, but of course it has autumn themed images. So those are my favorite. And this particular stamp set is a two-step stamp. So you have your outline image, and then you have your solid image where you add the color. So I'm going to be using this stamp set to create a variety of different cards. I have a bunch of different cards to share with you. And we're also going to be doing some simple scoring. So can you see? Hopefully you can see on here. I'll try to turn this card a little bit. You can see the scoring that I added to this card. So this little simple scoring technique adds a lot of interest to the card, and it just kind of gives it a really clean and simple look. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I have four different card ideas I want to share with you. I'll show you how to use the Simply Scored scoring tool. Say that 10 times fast. And then I'll share some other card ideas with you because I've just been kind of playing around with this particular set since it's autumn. And I've just been creating a variety of different cards. So I'll share a bunch of different things with you and we will get started. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. So let me get off of this and we will go on. I'll move all this stuff out of the way. I'm going to show you the scoring process first. So this is the Simply Scored board. I'm going to try to turn down this light a little bit here so it's not so bright. Maybe. Maybe we'll turn down the light. Let's move this back a little bit so you can see. I don't know if that'll work. All right. Anyways, well, you can kind of see the board. That's the whole point. So I'm going to, we're going to start with this particular card, but you probably can't see it right now because there's too much light. But I have some scoring that I'm going to do on each side of this piece of cardstock. So I will start. I have a bunch of different markers up here at the top. I just use the markers just to kind of guide my scoring. But for this particular card, what we're going to do is just add two lines of interest on the top and the bottom of this piece of cardstock. So I just line up the edge of my paper in one of the grooves. So I'm just choosing this 7-inch mark. And then I'm just going to go over a 1/4 inch and then you just create your line. And then I'm going to go over another 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to flip this around because I don't do well left-handed. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just go over a 1/4 inch and then over a 1/4 inch. So that is going to be the first one. And I'll show you these in a minute because you can't see them right now. I'm going to just do all the scoring first and then we'll put the cards together. So this little piece of paper, let's see. This little piece is 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And this one, we are just going to score all the way around. So I'm going to go a 1/4 inch all the way around. So I just lined it up here at this 8-inch mark. And we are going to go a 1/4 inch. And then we're going to turn it and just go a 1/4 inch. And we're going to just do this all the way around. And we got one more. So I don't know if you have this tool, but it just makes a really great, you just can create some really fun little things with it. And then this last piece here is a 3 by 4. And for this piece, actually, I'm going to start on the top here, and we're just going to go a 1/4 inch. So as you can see, I'm just using 1/4 inch increments here. And then we're going to go a 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to get rid of this scoring board because it's causing some issues with the lighting. So let's see, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So this time I'm just doing 3. All right, let's get this scoring board out of the way and get our lighting back. Whew, that was tough. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see what I did. So I created some score lines that are 1/4 inch apart, and I scored on the back here, and I'm not using the indented side. I'm actually using the raised side. So when you're scoring on this side and causing, the grooves to go into the paper like that. But I'm actually going to use this side for the stamping, the raised side. Let's see if I can get some of this light out of here. Sometimes I have not enough light, and today I have way too much light. So here's the same thing. This is the one where I scored all the way around and just created kind of a fun little frame for the stamped images. And then this one, I just created some lines across and on the bottom. So the scoring just kind of gives you some really fun little interest for the card. So let's bring in some colorful projects so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Actually, let's do a different one first. Let's do this little one first. So we'll do this one first. And I got to move all my scoring. I got to move all this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we're going to use this little piece that I did the scoring all the way around. So this is the 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece. And basically what we're going to just do is do our little stamping on here. So I am using, in case you are just joining me, I'm using this stamp set, the Caring Leaves. And so it's a 2-step stamping process. And I'm also using, wherever it went, I think it's called Labeled with Love. Oh, here it is. Labeled with Love. I'm just using one of the greetings out of this particular stamp set for the card. So the colors I am using, because I know all you guys want to know, crushed curry, early espresso, Cajun craze, and old olive. So we're going to start with stamping just this friend image. So we'll stamp on the bottom here. I like to stamp my greeting first and then add my images. So let's grab that large leaf. And we're just going to be stamping in this little area that I scored. So we'll stamp that. In just one moment. My dog, of course, because I'm live, my dog wants my attention, right? Of course. It's not kids, it's dogs. Okay, and now I'm just going to add some old olive right over the top. And it just creates a really nice little focal point. So now we'll just add this to our card base. And for my card base, I just did a little bit of embossing in the background here with the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. Sorry, when you're working with white cardstock, it doesn't show up very well on the video here. And then I'm just adding a piece of early espresso cardstock. So this is 2 3/8 by 3 3/8. So I'm going to add this piece on here. I haven't played around with scoring for quite some time, so this was kind of just a fun little projects to create. So we'll add this. I just wanted a little bit of that early espresso showing behind there. And then we're just going to use some designer papers. So I have a 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece. This is the Iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper. And then I have a 1 by 3. So basically we're going to adhere these together and just create a very simple layering. And then we'll put this on there. So this paper is back in stock. I know it was out of stock for a little bit, but it has some really pretty autumn um, designs in it. We'll add that, and then we'll just pop this up. And then I'll show you how the scoring looks because you can't see it. I can tell. I can tell by the way the lighting is. Let's see if I can shut this off. I thought I shut it off. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Two-dimensional stuck together. All right. So let's add this on here, and then you can add, any kind of you can add any kind of embellishments, but you can see I'm trying to get it so that the lighting shows up this white on this white cardstock here. But you can see the interest that you add just by adding that little 1/4 inch border all the way around any size white piece. You don't have to use um, this particular size. I just went with the 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece. All right, so that is the first one. And then let's do, what did I do with this one? I had everything messed up now because, uh, just because. Let's do this one, I think. Let's do this one. All right, so for this one, I have the same scoring that I did, I did the 1/4 inch. These are all 1/4 inch apart. And I did them across the top and down the sides. So it gives it like a little grid-like look on the side here. And so for this one, we're just going to stamp some little images here. Let's do our greeting first. I always want to make sure I have room for my greeting. So we'll stamp that. And then we'll add our little leaves kind of off to the side here. And then we're going to bring in that other leaf and do it this way. So I think this is a fun little set because you can just create some really neat looking leaves. And let's add our color now. I'm going to move this up a little bit. We'll add our old olive. And then we will add the Cajun craze. And there is the Cajun. I'm going to close some of these ink pads. Hold on. All right, so we'll bring this back. I just used a white background, and then I used some of the designer paper just to add a little bit of color. So these pieces are 3/4 by 2 3/4 inches. So we're just going to put them on each side of this piece of our card front. And then our focal point is just going to get popped up again. So very simple, but it has some really pretty interest on it with all of the, I think I'm going to add a couple more here with all of the score lines. No one likes a saggy card, so I got to add a couple of these. Well, the more you add, the more you have to take the papers off, right? All right, let's move this up so you can see it a little bit here. And then this is just gonna get popped up right over the top and just makes a really pretty card. And then you can add, any kind of embellishments that you want. Like on here, I just added some of those pecan pie little dots. I think they were an online exclusive. So just a really pretty, but very simple card idea. So that is the second one. And then let's put together this one. So this one has, it's very similar to the other one that I shared. It's got 3 lines, 1/4 inch apart, 3 lines across, 3 lines down. And then this time we are going to stamp over on this side of the white cardstock. I turned my light down, you still can't see. Hey. Okay, so let's add our greeting first. And we'll just add that right on the bottom. I haven't done some simple stamping cards for you guys in a while, so that's why I decided to do that today. Let's do this. So this is early espresso that I'm stamping the outline in. And then we just add, I'm pretty much just using the same colors, Old Olive and Cajun Craze. There's Old Olive. And Cajun. Let's move these out of the way. And then it's just a matter of creating a background. So for this one, what I did is I have a couple different pieces here. I wanted to use up some scrap pieces of cardstock that I had. So this is just it's about 3 1/8 by maybe 3/4. This was just a little scrap piece. So I just laid it on this side of the card front. And then I have a 1.5 by 5.5 inch piece of designer paper. And I just laid this right over the top. Oh, I made it a little crooked, but that's all right. So we put that right over the top. And then this is just, let's see, what did I do? What did I do? This is a 2 5/8 by 4 1/4 inch piece. So this was also a scrap. And what I decided to do with this is just adhere this partially behind, not going all the way around. So see how it doesn't go all the way around the cardstock? So let's add that. I'm going to put this on here. So we'll add this. And then we'll add this to the card front. So it just kind of created a fun little look, even though this was not a full piece of cardstock to go completely around. This white piece. It was a great way to use up some scraps that I had. And it kind of gives it a fun little look. And then you can add your little linen thread. I added some linen thread down the side here, wrapped it around the card front, and then just a couple little gems. So just kind of a fun little look. And on the inside, where are the other ones? I forgot to show you that. On the inside, I just stamped some of the same images on the inside of these cards. And where's my other one? This one I added a little designer paper. So, okay. So that is the third one. And let me show you the last one, which now I lost my sheet of paper. Here it is. So this last one is done with the top and bottom. So you have score lines on the top and score lines on the bottom. And then for this one, we're just going to stamp some images just right in the center. So we're going to go here And then we'll stamp some of these little leaves kind of like in opposite directions. And we'll go right about there. And then we'll add our little greeting. And let's get this out of the way here. And then let's add, since I already have these inked up, let's add our Cajun craze. And then we will add our old olive. And then we're going to bring in a new color here. And we'll add that crushed curry. Move that up a little bit. I just have to clean this image, and then we'll add the crushed curry. And let's do that. So there you go. So obviously you can use any colors that you want. I just chose these particular colors. And then what do I have here? The last matting I have is a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inch piece, because I did my scoring. This white piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So I just went an 1/8 inch larger with, the early espresso cardstock. And we'll just add this. So very simple cards, but they're very elegant with that just little bit of scoring in there. Let's get that glue off of there. And this one I adhered to a piece of old olive cardstock. The other ones I kind of did white on white, but this one I did old olive. And that is the card, basically. All right, so those are the 4 cards. Let's just move all these out of the way, see if I can bring these back so you can actually kind of see them. So these are the 4 different cards. And like I said, they have just enough interest in there with those little lines. And you can quickly create these. You can create these with any images. You don't need to have the little leaf image. You can make Christmas cards if you want, with these particular layouts. And just by adding that little bit of scoring around there, it just really makes it just look so neat. So those are the cards that I wanted to share with you. I do have one other one, so let me see if I can scoot these all on here. So the other one that I wanted to share was this one. I don't know if you saw my video on Wednesday, but I showed you how to do this faux tile technique. And so this faux tile technique is done with that scoring board that I was using to create the score lines on these cards. But it just is a really fun way to create a tile look in your background, on the background of this cardstock. And you do your stamping right over the top of the tile. So if you didn't see that video, I did link to it in the description below this video. So you can go out to my blog and you can take a look at, the video and things that I did for this particular technique. But I just thought I'd share a couple of just very simple card ideas with you, show you how to use your scoring tools that you probably already have, whether you have the simply scored scoring board or whether you have a scoring tool on your paper trimmer. There's just a lot of fun ways that you can use those simple little card making, what do you call them, items, to create some really pretty cards. So sorry about the lighting, you guys. Sometimes my lighting is really good and you get a really good clear image, and other times when I'm using white cardstock, I just can't seem to get the lighting right. So apologize for that, but I'll get these up on my blog later today. and the lighting will be much better. You'll be able to actually see, the interest and the different depth in all of these cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. I hope that they inspire you to just kind of play around with your scoring tool and add different little, marks of interest on your cards, and then do some simple stamping. Our cards don't have to have tons and tons of layers. They can be very simple and yet very beautiful. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day and a great week. And I will see you guys all again next week. So, take care, everyone.